When most people think of trench art, they of course think it's art made in a trench. But the name is misleading. Trench art was made by both soldiers and civilians, on the front lines and behind them, and it came in a wide range of forms, like this little wooden box, for example. It's made of finely fit pieces of scrap wood, nailed together and richly varnished, and upon its lid roses have been painted. The interior is lined with green felt and split into two compartments that once held an ink bottle and a pen. And if you turn it over, you'll find the following note, written in ink. Made by British sailors, interned at Groningen, Holland, 1914-1915. The British sailors referred to were members of the 1st Royal Naval Brigade, and in the opening months of the First World War, they were deployed as soldiers, and under the command of Commodore Wilfred Henderson, they marched from Dunkirk's port to the fortified city of Antwerp. It was there that the battered remains of the Belgian army and their French allies, as well as King Albert I of Belgium, his family and his government, were threatened by a German invasion force that had already swept across half of the country. What followed was an 11-day siege that ended on October 8th, with an overwhelming German bombardment that destroyed crucial fortresses protecting the city, and that night, a retreat to the Yser River area, near the French border, began. The royal family and a substantial portion of the British, French, and Belgian forces made it to their new positions, but not the 1st Royal Naval Brigade. They had been cut off during their retreat, and their chances were not good. Faced with a losing fight, or a long imprisonment in a German POW camp, Commodore Henderson decided on a third option for his 1,500 men. He marched them across the border into neutral Holland, where they were disarmed by the Dutch army, and marched to a parade ground behind the city jail of Groningen, Holland. It was here that a camp was built, which included long, crowded barracks, medical and recreational facilities, and a mess hall. The Dutch called it the English camp, or Ingelskamp. The British called it HMS Timbertown. Sailors interned at Timbertown faced boredom and a lack of money or items to trade for goods. Although there was a work program run by the Dutch government, they earned no money from their labors, and so many began making trinkets which they could trade or sell while out on work details.